What if a simple change to the tax code could put thousands of extra dollars directly into the pockets of millions of service workers? Well, there's a huge proposal on the table to do just that. Make all tips completely tax-free. But how would that even work? And what kind of economic ripple effects are we talking about? So let's dive in and really unpack what this all means. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the core proposal itself and who it impacts. Then, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how it would actually be implemented. From there, we'll explore the economic consequences, including that critical question of the budget shortfall. And finally, we'll step back and ask if this whole thing signals a much bigger shift in tax policy. Okay, first up, the core proposal. It's a really straightforward idea, but it could be an absolute game changer for millions of people. I want you to imagine something for a second. Let's say you're a server, or a bartender, or a hairdresser. You work a long, hard shift, and a huge chunk of your income comes directly from customers. Now, what if every single dollar you earned in tips was completely exempt from federal taxes? That, right there, is the really powerful idea at the heart of all this. So this whole idea has really blown up recently. A major political candidate has proposed totally eliminating federal taxes on tip income, and its popularity is soaring, which tells you it's striking a chord and could signal a major shift in how a huge segment of the workforce gets taxed. And when we say service workers, who are we really talking about? The list is way bigger than you might think. Sure, you've got servers and bartenders, but it's also hairdressers, baristas, cab drivers, hotel maids, golf caddies, casino dealers, even tattoo artists. For a lot of these folks, tips aren't just a nice little extra. They're the bulk of their income, while their hourly wage can be just a few bucks. All right, so we get who this would help. But what about the nuts and bolts? How would this actually work in the real world? Well, since there's no law on the books yet, tax experts have projected what the mechanism would most likely look like. Now, the first thing to get straight is this isn't about, hiding income or anything like that. The process would probably be pretty simple. Step 1, you still report all your income, wages, and tips just like you do now. But here's the magic trick. Step 2, a new kind of deduction would be created that just subtracts all of that tipped income right off the top. And what that means is for step 3, you'd only pay federal income tax on your base wages. Okay, let's put some real numbers to this to see just how big of a deal it is. Check out this scenario for a bartender. Let's say they make $20,000 a year in wages and a pretty good $50,000 in tips. Right now, their taxable income is $70 grand. But under this new proposal, boom, it drops all the way down to just $20,000. Not only are the tips tax-free, but it also bumps them into a lower tax bracket. So you're saving in 2 ways. This could mean tens of thousands of dollars more in their pocket every single year. Okay, but a change this massive, well, it's not gonna happen in a bubble, right? It would create some pretty significant ripple effects, hitting not just the workers themselves, but the entire national budget and maybe even the job market. So you've got this classic tale of 2 impacts here. On the one hand, the upside for workers is huge. We're talking substantial tax relief for millions of people. But on the other hand, you have the downside for the budget. Expert analysis projects a federal revenue loss of anywhere from $150 to a whopping $250 billion. That's a massive shortfall that would force some tough choices. Raise taxes somewhere else, cut programs, or just add to the debt. And this brings up another huge, maybe even unexpected ripple effect, a major shift in the job market. I mean, if jobs that rely on tips suddenly become way more profitable because a big piece of the income is tax-free, you could see a flood of people wanting those jobs. Think about it. If you're a teacher making, say, $70,000 a year and paying full taxes on it, and you see a high-end bartender making the same amount but only paying taxes on a tiny fraction of it, wouldn't you at least think about it? Which, of course, leads us to the billion-dollar question, or in this case, the $250 billion question. If this thing is going to cost the government that much money, how in the world do you pay for it? Right now, there are really two main ideas on the table for how to fill that gap. The first solution is to increase tariffs on goods that are imported into the country. That would basically shift the tax burden from income over to consumption, which, let's be real, likely means we all pay more for stuff. The second path is to cut government spending by going after waste, fraud, and improper payments, a goal that sounds great but has been really hard to achieve on this kind of scale. Now, to really get a handle on that second argument, the one about cutting spending, you need to see this number, $247 billion. According to a Government Accountability Office report, that's how much money the government improperly paid out in just the year 2022 alone. We're talking about money that went to the wrong person in the wrong amount or for the completely wrong reason. So when you put these numbers side by side, it's pretty striking. The estimated cost of this tax-free tip proposal is right in the same ballpark as the amount of money the government wasted in one recent year. Proponents use this to argue that you could cover the shortfall just by being more efficient. The big unanswered question, of course, is how much of that $247 billion is actually, recoverable? Okay, so let's pull back from the numbers for a second and look at the really big picture. Beyond the immediate dollars and cents, what could this one policy change tell us about the future of our entire tax system? And what makes this whole thing so fascinating is just how popular the idea is. I mean, it's not every day you see an idea like this get a nod from both sides of the aisle. The fact that it's gained so much traction across the political spectrum suggests it really connects with a lot of people and might just have a real shot at becoming law. All right, so let's boil this all down. What you have here is a policy that would give a massive tax cut to millions of workers, but it would also blow a huge hole in the federal budget. The proposed solutions, whether it's new tariffs or big spending cuts, are just as significant as the problem they're trying to fix. On top of that, it could totally reshape the job market, and maybe most importantly, it could represent a major philosophical shift away from taxing what people earn and toward taxing what they buy. And that really leaves us with this one big final thought. Are we just talking about a simple tax cut for one group of people? Or are we actually witnessing the first step toward a completely different way of thinking about work, pay, and taxes in this country? That's the larger implication we really need to consider.